Okay, hi Maddie. I've had a look at your draft and had a think about the way that you write and what you're doing. And I'm kind of thinking that perhaps rather than this being a feature article, which needs to be quite language heavy, you've got to be really confident with the way you write and using lots of techniques. I actually thought, because it wasn't till the very end that I heard this amazing news that you have been offered a full ride offer to play for and study at the Odessa College in Texas in August next year, and that you've been selected to represent Australia in softball later this year. So I'm kind of thinking that this is so cool, and why I think that with that information, this would be much better for you to write as a blog, to recount your journey and your preparation to going to Odessa College next year. That would enable you to write in a much more informal, more colloquial way, while still incorporating the sort of evidence and the lots of information that you're including in here, and this idea that perhaps one of the first things you've discovered is there's no such thing as an off season. So have a think about it, but I think that would suit your style of writing a lot better. Plus, it just seems like such a great thing to do, is to be keeping a blog. Actually, I think you should probably do it anyway. I mean, not just for this task. Keep a blog of your journey to preparing for it, and then finally getting there. I mean, how are you managing to juggle your schoolwork and all your training? What's keeping you going? I think you could actually genuinely make that into a real blog. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So having thought about that, I think you should think about the structure, which is that you would start with this. Okay? You start with this fantastic news that I'm a year 12 student in Adelaide, and I play softball. Is it softball? Yes. And I'm lucky enough to have been given a full ride offer to play for and study at the Odessa College in Texas in August next year, and this. So here, all of what you said, training hard, preparation for the tournament for when I go to America. And so you could say, so I've been doing a lot of research into what are the best ways to prepare myself in order to improve my athletic performance. And the first thing I've discovered is there's no such thing as an off season. Then I think you can go into the body of your writing. So you need a little bit more colloquial, friendly, inclusive language. So great list of inspirational athletes here, but I think you'd be better off writing as if you're talking to a fellow athlete, a friend in particular. You say, what do athletes like? What do elite athletes like Michael Phelps, Jenny Finch, Usain Bolt all have in common? Well, not only are they all really successful and famous in their individual sports, and clearly epitomized dedication, motivation, hard work, and organization. You've already said that they're well known for their successes and achievements. But what have they got in common? What have you discovered? You've discovered that for athletes of at this level, there's no such thing as an off season. And then I think you need to be thinking very carefully about the structure. So what I did is I've just highlighted this, what seems to be the sort of areas that you focus on during the off season. So it's about building strength. That could be a subheading, and then focus on endurance is another, and then maintaining balance, and then actual skills building. And then under each subtitle, you have your information. So to be successful and play, so your editing is a bit funny here. In saying this, it's easy to say that there's, I think we need to cut this, because you would already have said that one of the things you've discovered is that there is no such thing as a off season if you want to be the very best at your chosen sport. So then, and again here, I want to hear a really strong voice coming from you. So rather than to be successful and play at the highest level, it is important that you train hard and get as much game time as possible. You need to be really grabbing your readers and shaking them up to listen to what you're saying. So you need to be focusing on this. So here, so if you want to be successful and play at the highest level, you're going to have to train harder than you ever thought imaginable, and you're going to have to fight to get as much game time as you possibly can. Do you see the sort of tone that you're adopting? And again, your expression here is not quite what would be right for a feature article, but you can incorporate it into a blog, because you can say, I know that it's often easy for us to say that the off season is a welcome chance to actually sit on the couch and relax after the intensity and physical and mental draining of a tough season. And then here, but as I said, if you want to really excel, there is no such thing as an off season. Then you can say things like, what I've discovered is, while it's good to rest for a day or two in order to recharge your body and mind ready for the next phase of your training, if you ignore the off season, you're ignoring a really important time to and then build strength, focus on your endurance, cultivate balance, and develop or finely tune your skills. And then you go into the body of what you're going to say. So have a think about that between now and tomorrow's lesson, and we'll talk about it in the lesson, because then I hope this feels like a really accessible and a way for you to write that will be passionate and have a strong personal voice, and also be really informative and engaging for your target audience. So have a think, try and have a look over it, and start putting it into those headings ready for tomorrow, and then we can talk more. Happy editing.